What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back to work on the 2023 Kawasaki Ninja H2. Finally removed the top triple, which allowed us to take off this whole fork assembly with a very difficult 36mm 12-point socket. And somehow it completely destroyed all the threads on this nut and all these top threads on the actual yoke steering stem. But we got it out, so now the frame is completely able to be stripped down to the bone. So let's tear this frame down and get it powder coated a special color. Well, here it is, guys. Our H2 frame is now matte black. We had this sucker powder coated matte black, and now it is a beautiful canvas for a sweet set of fairings. A light green frame is not an easy canvas to throw a cool set of fairings on. But this matte black is gonna allow us to customize whatever we want, and it's gonna look so, so good. Now, let's put this sucker on the H2 engine. Well, the frame is on, engine is clean thanks to that super clean, and now we need to try and assemble this rear swing arm to the back of the engine. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts going directly into the engine block, and we have 4 bolt holes on the suspension plate that bolt directly to the back of the engine. Then we're gonna slip our swing arm bolt back through all 3 pieces, including the frame. There's the swing arm bolt, and it goes in this side of the frame. Let's see if we can figure this out. Whoa guys, this is getting pretty exciting. We've got the engine and the frame and then the swing arm attached to the backside. We've got 4 bolts in. They're not tightened down just yet because I'm trying to align everything. And the next piece to go on is this long bolt for the top part of the frame, which also attaches this black suspension piece that holds the shock and both of our subframe mounts, which also utilize that bolt by slotting in right here and then bolting to the top of the frame. Definitely a very interesting design. This is getting pretty exciting. Man, I love seeing this come together. And check out that all black. This is gonna look so good. Well, this thing is starting to look like a bike again, and man, that black looks so good. Like I said, it's gonna be the perfect canvas for a sweet set of fairings. We installed the subframe, which ties into the rear suspension bolt on the lower mounting point, then installed the interior plastics, this rear metal bracket for the rear seat, and our tail light. Later on, I am going to touch up this subframe as it has a lot of dings and dents all over it on both sides. But that's all in the rear. Now we move to the front and get this thing on 2 wheels, or a wheel and a half. Well, this H2 is coming back better than ever, and wow, that black frame makes a huge difference. Thinking about popping these caps off and getting these powder coated black as well, just for the complete look. And of course, we're getting rid of that green stripe on the wheel as well. Something cool I realized as I was installing this rear subframe plastic is they have an OEM shock adjustment tool bolted to this plastic. That is something I have never seen before. That's really cool. But we installed our forks just temporarily as we're missing bearings from All Balls Racing for the top and bottom of our steering stem. And we just cleaned up and threw on the front wheel. And thankfully there is no damage to this front wheel. But we will be needing a new tire very, very soon. We still have lots to do on it, but I love to see it coming together. That's gonna be all for tonight, guys. We will catch you in the next one. See ya.